everybody. Welcome. It's another episode of the Uncanny Spirits Club. This should be episode 131. As of this recording, it is not quite midsummer, and it's hot here in Ohio. We just got out of a heat wave last week, and we're gearing up for more soon, I think. There's supposed to be a bunch of storms here tomorrow, as of this recording, of course, but we'll see how that goes. What do I have for you? I have Town Branch, Kentucky bourbon. This is 90 proof. It is small batch, and it is $34.97. There's a weird price point at the grocery store today. I believe 34 or 36. I think it was 34. But it wasn't that bad. It wasn't very pricey. And it says on the side that it is woody oak aromas, hints of caramel, brown sugar, and cherry, smooth finish. So, the standard bourbon stuff. Yeah. So we're gonna give this a try. It's a square bottle. Nice square bottle. I like unique bottles like this. I tend to want to keep these and reuse them because they're unique and you can use them for things. Let's pop that cork off. It looks like it might be an organic cork. And it smells okay, but I'm looking at this cork. I better get my flashlight on my phone here to look at this because it looks I don't know if you guys can see that. It looks like it might be going a little musty. I hope it's not. I hope that's just the way that the cork is. I don't often get cork that looks like this, and this looks kind of iffy. Everything looks fine on the inside. There's nothing floaty. There's nothing weird. Let's see. It smells fine, as far as I'm aware. I haven't tasted it yet, so I have not yet gotten a musty bottle of bourbon, although I have heard that it is a possibility. If it wasn't quite sealed just right, or if a certain amount of air or some moisture or something got in there, or if the cork was bad, and things can happen. But I don't know. It doesn't smell bad. It smells like bourbon. So we're gonna hope that everything works out fine there. There's a nice healthy amount in there. Set that aside. It's a nice dark brown in both the bottle and the glass. A little bit lighter in the glass than the bottle, but still. Pop that cork back on. Yeah, it smells like bourbon. It doesn't smell like anything has gone wrong with it. Bit fumy, a little bit of alcohol scent on there. Real fumy. Let's see what it goes. An initial burn. I'm getting some of the caramel and some of the cherry with some standard bourbon flavors. I'm not getting anything bad from the cork, so it doesn't, at least as far as my palate goes, it does not taste as if anything has gone horribly wrong with this. I am getting an overabundance of alcohol At 90 proof, that can go either way. Sometimes you get some 90 proofers that are really, really solid with the flavor department, and other times you get them where it's a kind of a tough balance between flavor and heat. This has quite a bit of heat up front, and it has kind of settled in the back of the jawline. Kind of thickening up the mucus in my throat a little bit. But not bad. I don't feel like it's not like an allergic reaction or anything like that. But it's numbed everything a bit, not too much, but a little. And I can still get that hint of the heat right here in the back of the jaw before it gets to the throat. Let's do a second sip to see how that one treats us. Still a bit of heat, not as much as the first one. A little bit more on the cherry. Quite a bit more on the cherry. But unfortunately, the 90 proof alcohol taste is kind of overwhelming it. It is overwhelming some of the flavors that I had initially, and it's tasting more like strong, heavy alcohol bourbon than it is something particularly unique. It's hard to say how I would feel about this in the long term. At the price point, I could get it again and not feel too bad, but it's not doing a lot for me. The flavor isn't staying consistent to keep up with the alcohol burn, and it's numbing my tongue to the point that I'm having trouble keeping up with a lot of the other flavors. So it's just turning into kind of an alcohol-y dark liquor kind of mess, which is unfortunate. You do get that sometimes with some bourbons, though. They don't really do a whole lot. There's a couple of maker's marks that do that are all heat and the flavor just gets subsumed. And there's a couple other things. The best people that I had that struck a really good balance in this, in a really dramatic way, was Balcones, which is a Texas whiskey. And they had a really hot, really hefty it wasn't a bourbon, it was a American whiskey that gave me heartburn, but at the same time the flavors were very strong and very delicious. So while it was really a lot of alcohol heat going in, the flavors settled very nicely, and it made the whole experience worth it. It was difficult to drink just because of how hard that alcohol hit your mouth. It was also a lot higher proof too. That was in the like I'm thinking 130, maybe higher actually. 130 something. It was pretty high proof, so that alcohol content was going to make a difference. This one at 90 proof, I feel like there are a lot of things at 90 that do this, but I feel like you should have more wiggle room. You shouldn't really get to the point where the alcohol is becoming overwhelming until you get into 100 proof or higher. Personal opinion, really. I mean, and I don't know. It's not what I was hoping for. Probably won't necessarily buy it again unless I want another one of these bottles, because the bottle is really nice. But maybe I'll experiment with the amount of water. I don't want to dilute it with water. You guys know me, I don't usually add water to dilute anything. I add it in drops, in tiny smidges, or like a single ice cube if I have them, just to open up the flavonoids, as they would say, open up the various flavors and things, and cause that chemical reaction between the alcohol and the water. And I don't know. I might feel like adding a smidge more to this, but again, I don't want to dilute it. I don't want to cut it to a point where it's like half water, half whiskey, because that defeats the purpose. You're basically going to ruin it that way. Can I mix it with something? I don't know. I don't know if I would want to. I think it's too hefty of a flavor to want to mix with something. It would do it a disservice, I feel, because I think I respect it enough not to do that. But it is kind of a difficult drinker just because it presents itself at far more hot as far as proof goes than it should, and the flavor just isn't backing it up, which is kind of unfortunate. But, you know, at roughly $35, I'm not really out too much on it, and I'm not going to dump it. I never dump anything unless it is absolutely 100% horrid, which has only been one thing ever, and it was a rum that we got that was in a plastic jug that I didn't buy, and there was no saving it. There was nothing that could be done with it. It was terrible. Don't buy plastic. Please don't. Don't buy plastic. Buy in glass if you can. So that's it. So that is Town Branch bourbon whiskey, 90 proof, $34.97, I believe. So roughly about $35 in my local grocery stores here in Ohio. The proof just interferes too much with the flavor, and I'm not enjoying it as well as I would want to. Is it terrible? No, it is still drinkable, and I will go through this bottle, but not tonight, of course. But I probably won't buy it again. Not this exact kind. If they have another kind, like a rye or something, I'd be interested in trying the variations, but I wouldn't buy this exact kind of bottle again. I don't think. It's too slow of a sipper at this heat level, to be honest. But that's personal preference. I've had a lot of things that have been more than that I've handled a lot better. So it's not a matter of like some people probably gonna be like, oh, it's 90 proof, you're gonna handle your alcohol, huh? I've had 100 proof stuff that I can just down like nobody's business because the flavor is good and it doesn't hit you with that 100 proof. You don't feel that 100 proof until you've had a couple and then you stand up and fall over. Drink responsibly, by the way. And I've had things higher than that. I've had things in the 120 range or higher that haven't affected me, like my flavor profile like this, that have been very tasty. And this just isn't doing it. So anyway, that was that. Keep an eye out for the next video, and I'll catch you folks next time. As always, cheers.